Fear had always been invisible, a shadow crawling beneath the skin, a weight pressing on the chest, a whisper only the mind could hear. But one morning, the world awoke to something different. Fear had taken form. Not in the sense of monsters or hallucinations, but as a real, physical presence. People found that whenever they felt afraid, something material slipped out of them, shapes of smoke, trembling figures, grotesque shadows that hovered close, visible to all. At first, no one knew what to make of it. A child afraid of the dark went to bed surrounded by glowing, fluttering creatures shaped like bats. A man anxious about his debts walked down the street trailed by looming black towers that bent toward him with silent menace. Some people's fears were small wisps, fog-like things, quickly fading. Others walked with entire storms following them, as if their inner terrors had broken free and decided to stalk the earth. Governments tried to reassure the public. Scientists called it psychosomatic projection, a strange new phenomenon. Priests said it was punishment or revelation. But what no one could deny was that there was no longer any hiding. Every worry, every nightmare, every dark thought you tried to suppress now had weight and shape. People avoided each other's eyes, terrified not only of their own fears but of witnessing the private horrors of others. The world grew quieter, streets emptier. For who could speak openly while their trembling ghosts hovered around them? Adrian, a quiet man who had lived most of his life in silence, discovered something unsettling. Unlike others, his fear did not show itself immediately. For a time he believed he had none. He walked through empty plazas, past people weighed down by writhing shadows, while his own body cast only its natural shadow. People began to notice. They whispered that he was fearless, special, maybe chosen. Adrian did not correct them. In truth, he was terrified. Every night he woke drenched in sweat, dreaming of something vast and indescribable. But nothing ever appeared. One evening, while the city slept uneasily under the watch of its collective nightmares, Adrian's truth emerged. He caught his reflection in a window and saw something behind him. It was not a small shadow or a shape of smoke. It was enormous, taller than the buildings, stretching endlessly into the sky like a mountain made of darkness. It had been hiding, waiting, growing unseen while others displayed theirs. And when Adrian turned, he saw that people around him had stopped, their own fears shrinking in comparison. They stared not at him, but at the towering silhouette no one could fully comprehend. The next day, rumors spread that the largest fear ever seen had appeared. People claimed it followed Adrian, that it bent the world around it. Crowds formed, not out of anger, but reverence. They called him the man with the ultimate fear, the one who carried all others inside himself. Some wanted to worship him, others to destroy him. Adrian tried to explain he was no leader, no prophet. He was just a man haunted by something he couldn't name. But the more he denied, the larger the presence behind him grew, blotting out the sun whenever he walked. At last, Adrian fled to the edge of the city. There, he faced his own projection directly. It towered above, a shifting, faceless void, and for the first time he realized the truth. This thing was not his fear alone. It was everyone's. The reason his own shadows never showed was because his body was holding the fear of thousands, maybe millions. All the quiet dread that people tried to suppress, all the despair they shoved aside, had flowed into him somehow, until he had become a vessel. That was why his figure was clean, why others thought he was fearless. Their nightmares were inside him, and now they had taken shape. As the shadow loomed higher, Adrian understood the final twist of it all. Fear had never been invisible. It had always been shared, moving from one heart to another, unseen. The world had only learned to bury it. Now it had broken free, and he, by some cruel accident, was chosen as its mirror. He knew he could not run. And as he took a final breath, the colossus leaned down, and for the first time, it whispered with a voice that was not his own, "You were never afraid of me." "I was always afraid of you."